first came here back in 1983 as a ballot farmer on the sheep and beef ballot farm in the Mountain Survey ballot system, and farmed sheep and beef for 12 years, and then we've now been 12 years dairying. The property has grown to 391 hectares in total, and of that 320 are under dairy, milking 725 cows.
We're very lucky in that we've got some great staff, Kevin and Tricia Hormond. They've been with us for 10 years, and Wayne McMillan has been with us for 6 years. Kevin and Tricia are variable order share milkers, and as the property's grown and changed, so has their role, and so they've been very loyal staff. It allows us a lot of stability in our farming operation, and I think everybody has grown from year to year, both Kevin and Tricia and ourselves, in terms of dealing with staff, because as sheep and beef farmers you don't have staff, and so it's been a big learning curve for us. But I think it's got to be a win-win situation, and I think, judging by their tenacity, it obviously has been.
The weather here has been slightly kinder this year than it has been elsewhere. Having said that, it's still a bit of a challenge at this time of year with the dry. In terms of the trees, we were fortunate when it was settled. There were 19 hectare of soil conservation areas, and that has grown to 47 hectare.
Every year we've tried to plant something in terms of shelter belts or hedgerows and conservation areas. This year we've planted a hillside in 2,500 natives. We're starting to plant a lot more natives now. We entered in 2000, and we won the Nutrient Management Award then. We found it quite beneficial in that the judges gave us a lot of feedback in terms of plantings, and in particular native plantings, which we've subsequently taken on board over the previous years, and that's been more of our focus, of late.
We've changed in recent years. We did have some young stock on the farm. We've reduced that and allowed the cows to have more area and become somewhat more self-contained and self-sufficient, and the cow production per cow has increased. On our nutrient management program, we've basically monitored that for a number of years now. In our potash soil tests, we've been unable to increase the soil holding capability, so therefore we actually apply lighter rates of potash 3 times a year. Our phosphate levels in our soil tests have come higher than optimal, and so we've eased back in the use of phosphate. The overseer nutrient management modelling program has shown us that in our effluent area, the elements there have not actually increased as much as the program did predict, and so therefore spreading of the effluent has been in harmony with the soil. We haven't been over fertilising those areas. Firstly, purchased a Spitfire irrigator which can regulate the level of effluent that it applies, and we also upgraded the lines to make them easier for staff to handle with hydrants, and extended the area so that we now have 12 hectare of effluent area per 100 cows. I was a member of the Upper Waikato Advisory Subcommittee for the Waikato Regional Council previously, and then more recently I've been a member of Taupo Lake Care, who are sort of the farmer advocates in regard to the new regulations on Lake Taupo. I've been following it all the time. We're not actually in the Taupo catchment, but just over the hill, but it seems to be the forerunner for what could be happening elsewhere. Our winter cropping program has modified it in the last few years, and we've gone to direct drilling the crops in order to try and protect our little bit of topsoil we do have, because we are a low organic matter soil. We have used DCDs on some of our pasture areas last autumn, and we are looking at using that on the winter crop areas, as they are hot spots in the farming system, as the cows are camped on the crop areas in wet periods to preserve the pasture. I'm responsible for the cropping and all around that. The staff feed the crop to the cattle, but I do the cultivation, organise the contractors for our direct drilling and fertiliser, etc. rear the calves in the springtime, take the pressure off there. But in terms of day to day, I don't regularly milk, and so I'm not actually regularly involved in day-to-day decisions. I tend to try to work from meeting to meeting, as in you ideally have a fortnightly meeting, and that's the point at which we sort of discuss where things are heading, and the staff take it from there.
We live in a fabulous little community here at Tihoi. We're 45 kilometres away from Taupo, but that doesn't seem to be too far when you're... Taupo's a great town, it's always got happening things. And the community, because it was made up of ballot farmers, you don't have extended family nearby, so all your neighbours are your surrogate family, and people work in well together.